191 coming in hot.
191 episodes, that's crazy.
3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to episode 191 of NerdPod Generations. As always, I am one of your illustrious hosts, Steve Taylor, along with the always lovely Al Jetsam. Hello, sir.
Hello, friends and enemies.
So this is going to be a very interesting show,
Yes.
folks, because we have some stories about a crazy week that we got to go over.
Yeah.
We have, this is our first watch and review in a very long time.
I think since last summer. I think last summer was the last watch review that we really did.
Which I can't even remember what the last movie was.
I don't know either.
No, wait, was it 28 years later?
It was. It
Yes.
was not the Bone Temple.
Yes.
Just 28 years, yeah.
Just regular 20 years. I think it was the last time we did
time.
it. So we have a very special, a super extra special watch and review because this is truly going to be NerdPod Generations.
I was going to make that bit.
I knew you were, because we have the next generation, which is my son, Ethan.
Hi!
Who is turning 11 tomorrow, and this was part of his start of his birthday weekend, is we saw, and don't judge me as a parent, folks, we saw Mortal Komabat 2, and it was amazing, but we'll get into that. So first off, Al has had an, let's say, not so excellent adventure this week.
So in a world where we can only film 3 of these at a time before something has to happen.
Yes.
That breaks up the continuity.
Quite literally breaks up the continuity.
Yeah. So I'll kick off the show this way. We're not going to do a traditional watch play read.
No.
But so here's what had happened was last week I had one of those moments, a Donna, if you will, of turn left or turn right. And I went upstairs to take a nap, and I looked, and I saw a basket full of laundry, and I said, hey, you're a responsible adult, do your laundry. So I went down, and I took the laundry downstairs, and I get down to the basement, and I find puddles. Just big puddles at several locations near our washer. Not what you ever want to find. So me and Kelly go into, okay, this is the story now. And we spent quite a few hours trying to figure out the problem. As it ended up being, it was a tiny pinhole leak in a copper pipe, so small that I thought it was a cobweb. I kept trying to brush it out of the way. And then I noticed that the cobweb would shoot straight back towards the wall every time I went to move it. And I was like, that's not a cobweb, that's the leak. And so found the leak, no problem. Turns out, funny story, bleach really can chew through just about anything if you give it enough time. And so the bottle of bleach that wasn't ours, that came with the house, that's been sitting in the utility sink for 5 years, at some point in the seam started to have a little leak where the bleach had eaten through the seam of the plastic and was now leaking down the back of this utility sink.
Okay.
Turns out if you let that happen for a long enough period of time with a copper pipe, it will eat through the copper pipe. And so that's what had happened, was that now there's this tiny little leak from this copper pipe that is from the bleach. Okay. So we get everything set. We end up having to turn off all the water in the house because there was no off valve for that particular pipe. We thought there was not. Was a different valve unrelated to the pipe in question.
Okay.
But it did take up several hours of my time trying to figure out why I couldn't get the water to turn off when I kept turning off the valve. We get everything settled. Once we get the water off, I take like 3 hours and I clean up all of the water. Exhausted, dead tired. At this point, we've been working on this for like 7 hours all told, getting everything set. Plumber comes in the next day, is able to fix it and put in a shutoff valve in case anything ever happens like that again. Cool, great. We take Sunday and we're like, okay, that was crazy. We need to take some time. Sunday is usually when we record, so I text you and I'm like, hey, we're not recording. This is just not a thing that we're going to do today. I get to Monday, and Kelly is home to help take care of stuff with the washer and everything, and to, just refresh mentally after the stresses of the weekend. And we couldn't do laundry because of the leak. And so now that the leak is finished, I'm going to go and start laundry finally. So, which reminds me again of, like, if I had gone and just taken the nap. If I went upstairs, looked at my laundry and said, I'll do that later, and went and taken a 4-hour nap, and that leak is just shooting towards that wall that entire time, and nobody knows about it because the next time anybody does laundry is Sunday afternoon, that would have been way worse. So, like, all told, very lucky.
Yes.
I'll take it. Not what I want. Definitely don't want it to happen, but very lucky. I'm trying to get laundry finished on Monday, and I go down the stairs into the basement. Our basement stairs have carpets, and I overpace, hit the edge of the stairs, bam, down, and I'm like, okay, this could be bad. So I cartoonishly just shout, ow! And I don't stop.
Oh, no.
So now I'm just sliding all the way down the stairs, and I keep thinking, like, maybe this stair, maybe this stair, maybe this stair. And the entire time I'm just going, ow, 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 to make sure Kelly knows, like, this is bad. This is getting progressively worse. Get to the bottom of the stairs. I have a trick knee, which it turns out not all doctors know what that is. And essentially, if I move my knee in the wrong direction or too quickly, it'll pop out of joint. And so I've had this happen like 4 times in my life. I'm pretty used to it at this point. Don't want to happen, not interested in it happening, but I know how to handle it when it does happen. So I get to the bottom of the stairs and I feel that feeling in my shoulder. And I'm just laying on a pile of laundry at the bottom of the stairs, and Kelly is like, what do you need? What do you need? I know that something's wrong. I can't move. So we call an ambulance. Ambulance gets here. It takes forever for them to get here, which is strange because right at the top of that hill, about a block away, is an ambulance.
Yeah.
Apparently, they didn't have anybody at that time.
Oh, no.
And so the ambulance had to come from Pittsford. So the ambulance comes from Pittsford. They show up. They finally get there about 20 minutes after I've fallen down the stairs. So I've just been laying on my arm in a bad position because I won't move because I can't move. My hand is fully asleep from the elbow down. Like, it's just, like, all bad. Finally get there. They give me what I've been calling a machine apocalypse sling, where it's like this very like loose netted fabric. It is not doing anything to support the weight of my arm.
Okay.
And so they've just like wrapped it around me like a sling, but it's like a rag. Like, you would do better to tear off the bottom of a t-shirt and use that as a sling than this. They don't have any painkillers. They just don't. They're just none in the truck. There's just none.
What?
So they get me upstairs. They get me into the back of the truck. They say, we've called another truck to get you painkillers. The other ambulance gets to our driveway, pulls into our driveway, and takes one look at me, and they say, well, he's not crumpled and crying on the floor anymore. We can't give him painkillers. So now I'm strapped to a gurney with my arm out of its socket, fully dislocated, and shooting pain. Just terrible pain that is just so overwhelming. And as I've stated on this show before, the reason I'm not an athlete is because I do not handle pain well.
Yeah.
I'm not good with pain. I'm not a woman. I don't have to deal with it on a month-to-month basis. I do not have an intimate connection with pain. I'm very scared of it. I'm not good at it. So I get into the ambulance. They have me on a gurney. But they have me pointed backwards. But the problem is that my arm needs to be going forward, otherwise it's in excruciating pain. So now we're driving, and the inertia of just driving is pulling me backwards.
Oh no.
And so I'm just in this excruciating pain from being pulled backwards by the inertia, and the medics still don't have painkillers. They give me an ice pack. And I'm like, let's go to Highland, because that's where me and Kelly went when she had her kidney stone a few weeks ago. I'm like, okay, let's go to Highland. That's the closest hospital to us. And they're like, we're going to give you to Strong. It's like, okay, I don't care. But we drive right past Highland. Like, we drive right past Highland.
Right, yeah, you have to drive past it.
And then they try and gaslight me into be like, no, we're on Highland Avenue. We're going to Strong. I'm like, no, but the reason Highland Hospital is called Highland is because it's off of Highland Avenue.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like sitting there like, okay, I guess we'll go to the busier hospital that's under construction.
Yeah.
Instead of the other hospital, just in case the smaller hospital needed to transfer me to the larger hospital, which is under construction.
Yeah.
Sure, that makes sense. So we do that. I would not recommend. Mm-hmm. And we get to the hospital. They take me in. They get me on a bed. The very first guy I see is the guy who comes to talk to me about my insurance. before Kelly gets there, before anything else, before any doctors talk to me, before any nurses talk to me. The very first guy who comes and talks to me is the guy about insurance.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. I can't move my arms because I have this terrible bad sling. I have to hold my arm in place with my other arm. So I'm just wrapped up in myself. And the guy's like, do you have insurance? I'm like, I do, but it's in my pocket. I can't reach into my pocket because I can't move my arms because the only thing holding my arm in place is my other arm. And so we get through that. Kelly finally gets into the back room. It takes them 4 hours to get me any kind of pain reliever.
4 hours?
Not even to get it fixed. Just to get a pain reliever. It takes them 4 hours.
Oh my God.
So I'm just sitting there in a tremendous amount of pain for 4 hours.
Yeah.
During that time, nurse 1 comes up, and she tries to give me an IV. She cannot find a vein. And so she eventually gets one in, and it's so bad that at one point I look down, and you know how they put in an IV, it's like they put in the pin, and then they have like this little bandage that goes over top. It's like a little clear patch bandage that goes over top and holds everything in place. Well, when she left, that bandage was about 80% off of my hand already. And she just left. And so I finally roll over because I need to lay down because I'm going to pass out because I keep going in and out of shock.
Yeah.
And when I roll over, the entire thing comes out. And so now I'm just bleeding everywhere. And so it's just like, okay. They end up pulling a different nurse by to clean me up because Kelly just was like, hey, he's bleeding all over the place because this IV came out. And so different nurse comes in, cleans me up. Same nurse comes back, cannot find an IV. Is fishing in my hand for 2 minutes for an IV. And I'm just like, the only thing that is a bonus about this is that now my arm doesn't hurt because your brain can only sense one type of pain at a time.
Yeah.
So now my brain is like, oh my God, my hand. Oh my God, my hand. And it stops worrying about the arm that's out of socket and is instead being like, oh my God, my hand. Get an x-ray done. Again, still not popped in. Still no painkillers. And so get an x-ray done. Finally get an IV. Finally, the doctor had to come in with an ultrasound and find an IV in my arm. I'm wearing a hoodie so they can't get into my elbow. So now they have to find one somewhere in my forearm. Finally, after, I want to say like 5.5, 6 hours, they finally put my arm back in its socket. And then it's another hour wait to get another x-ray to make sure that it's in. And then it's another hour wait to get discharged. We were there until 7:30 at night. We went in at noon.
Oh.
And it's just like, did we get there? Yeah, we got there. But like...
And that's the problem with going to the bigger hospital.
Yeah. Yeah, no, literally, they didn't have rooms. They just had beds and hallways. We had to keep on dodging. Kelly had to keep on dodging people coming in and out of the hallway, just trying to use it as a hallway, just trying to get from one place to another because there's no locations for beds because half the hospital is under construction.
Yeah.
But we needed to come to this one just in case Highland transferred me to it in the end. This one, the busy one where there's so many people that they don't have room for beds anymore. It's just hallways of beds. So the other great thing was that there are 2 great things. One, I had a moment with a doctor where I found to be very odd but funny in retrospect. At the time, not so much, but in the moment, now looking back on it, funny. Which was that same doctor who put in my shoulder again once we finally got there. When he was trying to give me my IV, I was just at this point where I was so overwhelmed by everything that I just had my eyes shut. And I was still like groaning because like I needed to tell them that I was in pain. And so at one point, the doctor has put in the IV and is now doing some other stuff. And I'm still like groaning and aching and bemoaning the situation. And he just looks at me and he's like, what's going on, man? And I'm like, the IV hurts. It's like there's a needle in my hand. He's like, there's no needle in your hand. We already took the needle out of your hand. The IV is fine. Everything's fine. What's going on? I'm like, I'm in a lot of pain. And he's like, okay, all right. But just the idea of me sitting there and a doctor being like, what's going on, man?
And they didn't ask you the obligatory, what's your pain from 1 to 10?
Oh, they did. They asked me that a few times. It started at a 7, crept up to a 9 at one point. Because you got to leave room at the top because you can't be like, this is the worst pain that there could ever be ever. Yeah. It's like, no. You got to leave room for the whipped cream at the top of the drink.
Yes.
So like, yes, it all worked out. We got there in the end. I will say another interesting thing about Rochester, for anybody who doesn't live here, The interesting thing about Rochester is that the largest employer in the county is the University of Rochester because of all the medical centers. So all medical centers, except for some urgent cares, are through the UR medicine system. Except that they don't talk to each other.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so the doctor was like, oh yeah, you'll be in the sling for 3 days, and then you'll go to the orthopedic on Friday. This was on Monday. You'll go to the orthopedic on Friday, and they'll give you a prognosis for what you're going to be looking at. Go to the orthopedic yesterday, and they're like, yeah, I don't know why he told you that. You're going to be in the sling for 2 weeks. And then you're going to start physical therapy. And even then, your shoulder might still pop out of joint. So we're going to be very slow about everything. And I'm like, okay, great. Me and Kelly just started looking at houses. We just finished talking to the bank about house loans and everything and getting that process started. And my plan was to move this summer. And now I don't know. So,
you know what? The silver lining?
Yeah.
Is you are now Martin Riggs from Lethal Weapon.
I'm too old for this shit.
No, Martin Riggs is...
Oh, he's the Mel Gibson.
Anytime he needs to get out of something, he pops his shoulder out because it's been dislocated before.
It is not worth it, man. It is not worth it, let me tell you.
But it looks really cool in the movie, though.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Well, I was talking to the x-ray guy after I got painkillers and my shoulder put back into joint. My humor came back. Funny story about that. And so I'm talking to the x-ray guy, who's different than the x-ray guys I'd seen 3 hours earlier. And I'm just like, we were getting to that point of like an action movie star where you just start ramming your shoulder into a door frame to get it back in joint. He's like, you didn't do that, right? I'm like, no, I'm not John McClane. I'm not crazy. Yeah. So yes, that's why there was no show last week. Amazing. That's why I'm in a sling now. We ironically got all of our video capture equipment the day before I fell down the stairs, so we were going to set everything up. And now it's much harder one-handed.
Well, luckily, you didn't go down the stairs on your head.
This is the thing. Again, like the leak, extremely lucky.
Yes.
I didn't hit my head. The only thing that happened was I dislocated my shoulder, which is not a nothing, but it could have been so much worse.
Yep.
And nothing's broken. No long-term damage is foreseen. It's one of those, like, it's going to take some time to heal. I'm going to have to be patient. God bless Kelly. She has taken up so much slack. I feel so bad. It's the worst thing because my parents keep on telling her, or keep on giving me really good advice that I then give to her. And she's like, I'm going to remember that. Uh-huh. And when you're insisting on helping, I'm going to remind you what your parents said. And it's like, God, don't do that. Yeah. Because like that I can fool around, right? Me and Kelly have this ongoing joke. For anybody who doesn't know, Alfred means elf friend. And so we have this ongoing joke, that I do a lot of the chores at night for a variety of reasons. And so I always joke that the elves come in at night and do all the chores. And when Kelly complains about me doing this, I'm like, listen, the elves are union. It's not up to me. All right? The elves have to have a job. I have to give them something to do. It's not up to me. And that joke plays a lot less now.
Yeah, I absolutely believe it.
The elves are pissed because all the union jobs are gone and I can't give any of them out. And they just keep coming to me like, what are you doing? I gotta feed my family. I'm like, I don't know, man. I can't do like 90% of the things I used to be able to do.
This has gone down a new path.
Yeah. And so now I've been jokingly referring to it as my Quado hand. Me and my Quado hand. I had to explain what Quado was to Kelly, and she was like, ugh! And I was like, I know, Quado, not nice to look at. Good guy, not nice to look at.
What I want you to do is wait until she's really sleepy tonight, and I want you to whisper in her ear, Kelly, start the reactor.
Start the reactor!
Start the reactor! So, the good news is...
Yes.
Even with all of this happening to you...
Yes.
You were still able to join us today.
Yes! I went down into the basement to look for lavalier mics and thought, I might not make it to this movie, but what happens if I crash out again?
Yeah. We made it to the movie.
We made it to the movie.
And now let's lay a little groundwork. So we did a watch and review for Mortal Kombat 1.
Do a watch and review.
Yes.
Yep. Back in the halcyon days when it was just released on HBO Max, like same day.
Yes.
Because it was post-pandemic, and
That's
they were just
right,
like,
it was post-pandemic.
we just got to make money on this thing, man. I don't care how, I don't
Yep.
care where, I don't care when. We just got to make money on it.
I forgot that it was like that.
Yep.
Well, it also plays a special moment in the heart of my lovely son Ethan.
Yes.
Because it was the official first, so Battle of the Five Armies, the extended version is technically R-rated.
I forgot that they made that R-rated.
Yeah.
I don't even know why.
There's a lot of heads getting lopped off.
But Star Wars showed us you can do that in PG movies.
Well, that's true. But Mortal Kombat 1 was his official first. There's no doubt about it, this is an R-rated movie.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll never forget your response when Kung Lao was fighting. I can't remember who he was fighting in the movie, but he cuts him in half with his hat.
Oh,
and
the Harpy Woman.
The Harpy Woman. And Ethan's response was, oh, okay.
Yep.
Because he had never seen anything like that. And I'm like, oh, this is a proud moment. But ever since then, because you loved that movie, didn't you?
Yes.
And when we found out they were making a second one, I thought you were about to lose your mind. And you've been looking forward to this for a very long time, have you not?
Yes.
And you and I, Al, have been waiting for this for a very long time. And so everything came together.
Yes.
That this just happens to be his birthday weekend.
Yep.
And it came out 2 days before his birthday. I'm like, this is perfect. Luckily, you didn't break everything. We were able to go.
We were able to do it.
And we just came from Mortal Kombat 2.
Yes.
Which, Ethan, let's start off with you. What did you think of the movie?
I think it was a great movie. It was to me, it had more tournament vibes going into it. Because it actually was a round-based thing where the original Mortal Kombat movie in this series,
Okay.
not the original
Not the OG
ones.
one, yeah.
Yeah. That one didn't have much of the tournament vibes.
Yes. It really didn't have any tournament.
Yeah. It was mainly a very, very big story-based movie.
Yes.
Or character origin movie.
Yes. So now, this one, if you had to give it... So here's how we're going to do this, folks. We're not going to do a lot of spoilers. There's really not a lot to spoil in this movie.
It's a Mortal Kombat movie.
Yeah. So, let's just say spoilers might happen, so just be prepared.
We might talk about some, what I'll call, interesting decisions in the third act of the movie.
Yes.
That's the closest I think we'll get to spoilers, is things that you may have thought were going to happen in this movie that if we bring up, we might talk about how they didn't end up happening.
Yes. So, Ethan, if you had to give it a letter grade, what would you give it?
A.
Okay, solid A from Ethan. I would have to agree. I've been leaning between A or A+. I will stick with A. I'm going to say, as far as a live action movie, this might be the best video game adaptation. Just because it quite literally was a Mortal Kombat. Everything you wanted in that first movie is what we got in this one.
I completely agree with that.
And what do you think? I'm interested.
I have it at a B. A solid B.
Hey, a solid B is still good.
Closer to a B-, but we'll give it a little boost up for a B. There were a lot of decisions in the third act of this movie that I was kind of stymied by.
Okay.
And there were some decisions in terms of what we spent time on that I was kind of huh.
Okay.
Okay. I didn't think we needed that in this movie, but all right. The biggest one is the MacGuffin of this movie.
The amulet.
The amulet of Shirak, I want to say.
Yeah, it was something like that.
Shinnok.
Shinnok.
So, an element of the plot of this movie is that there is this MacGuffin the Outlanders want to use to turn Shao Kahn from a godlike creature to a god.
Yes.
I felt like that... We were joking about the Odyssey trailer being a hat on a hat on a hat. I felt like that was kind of a hat on a hat. Of isn't Shao Kahn already kind of a god? Doesn't he kind of control life and death on his planet? isn't he already enough of a threat? Do we need to make him more of a threat? And it just... I was expecting Goro. I was expecting... I can't remember what the centaur's name is. But, like, I was expecting some of these bigger villainous characters to come in, and this movie is really all about Shao Kahn. There really isn't another villain. Even Shang Tsung shows up for, like, the hottest of minutes.
Yeah, he's only in a couple minutes.
And then he's, like, dealt with very quickly. He's just like...
See, I think the whole purpose of that MacGuffin is the movie, the writers had no idea how to include Scorpion and Sub-Zero. And they're like, we need something.
This was another thing.
But I can understand why they thought we can't have a Mortal Kombat movie without these two characters.
Oh, I agree. My thing is that the animated Mortal Kombat movies, as we talk about on this show very often, the animated version is a testing playground for what you can do in these movies. The Mortal Kombat animated movies are by no means perfect. But they do show you how you can incorporate all these elements. And even in the case of, like, Bihan dies at the end of the first one, they have, even that they've covered. Like, they have a plan for it. The character choices for Sub-Zero in this movie are baffling to me.
I was kind of wondering why
completely rewrite the character?
Not have him use his ice powers.
Why just he's not Sub-Zero
He's
anymore.
not Sub-Zero.
He's an entirely different character with an entirely different power set.
Yeah.
And he just happens to have the same name as Sub-Zero Bihan. That's where the similarities end. We don't even really see his face long enough for it to be meaningful. And the second version of himself is like a different guy, but not. It just felt like I didn't know what was going on with that section, and I didn't know why we needed to overcomplicate this. Just have it be Sub-Zero. You don't need to have it be something new. We wanted it to be Sub-Zero. Everybody wanted to see Sub-Zero. There's nothing about... Is it one of those things where, like, some producer was sitting there and being like, how can you have ice powers in hell? It's like, that's not what we're here for. Don't worry about that. That's not important. He has infernal ice powers. That's always been the case. So, like, this is fine. I didn't understand this decision.
It was definitely interesting.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. If they didn't refer to him as Sub-Zero...
I would not have known that was Sub-Zero.
No, but I also would have... I did like the morphing into two different characters.
I love the concept.
I thought the concept was awesome.
By calling it Sub-Zero, you set a certain expectation.
I can understand on that.
Yeah.
So what was your favorite part of the movie, Ethan? Did you have, like, a scene that you loved?
Not really. I really think the entire movie was, like, as good as itself.
Okay.
So, like, there wasn't really one part that was better than another, but there isn't one part that's worse than another.
Yeah.
Did you
I think it's just a solid, good movie. So that's why it's not an A+, but it's an A.
I like that. That's a good rationale.
Yeah. Now, did you like Carl Urban as Johnny Cage?
Yes.
Because now, do you recognize Carl Urban? He played Éomer in the Lord of the Rings movies, the Riders of Rohan.
The guy with the big spear. And who
remember at the
screams
end of Helm's Deep, he shows up with Gandalf with the whole Riders? He's the king's nephew.
He's the guy that shows up and circles around Aragorn and Gimli and Legolas. And he says, what do a dwarf, a man, and an elf have business to do in the Rittermark? Our business is our own.
Yeah. Oh, yes, I remember that. The second I heard our business is our own, I remember that.
Yeah, no, he was, and I loved that they threw in a Lord of the Rings reference.
Yeah.
Where he's looking at the amulet, and he says, one ring rule. I was like, that was awesome!
That was great.
Yeah.
Carl Urban's the greatest.
I liked his relationship with Kano was good.
Yes. And I like how they played Kano in it.
Yeah.
Because they could have just made that, he's going to stab him in the back. He's like, no, he is what every bad guy that wants the world to burn, he's the one that's rational saying, no, because I like beer, and I like women, and I like this.
It's the Lex Luthor effect. At the end of the day, if Darkseid is going to invade Earth, Lex Luthor will stand against him because Lex Luthor wants to rule Earth.
Yes.
And so Darkseid taking over is counter to that goal. And in the same way, Kano said, well, I don't want the world to be a barren ash wasteland, so yeah, I guess I'm on Team Earth now.
Yeah. But I liked him, and like the guy was funny.
I like this use of him
Yes.
because I felt like in the first one, there was just this sense when he showed up in the first one of like, why is Kano in so much of this movie?
Yeah.
And I felt like here it was a better use of him. Of like, he's going to come in, he's going to say some funny things, he's going to leave. And then he's going to come in, he's going to say some funny things, and then he's going to leave. I thought that this worked really well.
But like you said, a lot that made it work was him and Carl Urban playing off one another.
Yeah.
So great.
Just the moment when he's like, you don't have powers?
Yeah, you don't have
He's
powers.
like, yeah, I'm an actor. What do you want from me?
He was so good. I gotta say, I was blown away and in awe, and I cannot wait to own this movie so I can watch this scene over and over again. The fight between Liu Kang and Kung Lao
That was really good.
was so incredible.
That was really good.
Not only was the fight great and the choreography, but just the scenery of all the blue light around them when
Yeah.
they're like in this off-world.
Yeah,
That was amazing, and the
Yeah.
fight was so intense and great.
I'm glad we finally got to see Final Destination from Super Smash Brothers.
Yes!
In the movie.
Yeah.
That's what it was, pretty
That's what
much.
it was.
Dude,
and I
that's-
like that the background changes depending on the aura and dynamic of the fight.
Yes.
I thought that was really cool.
Dude, it was so good. That was such a great scene.
Yeah.
Like, the fight scenes in this movie were spectacular.
Yeah.
Like, they're, it is what was better. I always will love the 95 one.
Yeah.
I have love for that movie. Fight scenes don't hold up. Because a lot of the actors don't know how to fight. Some did, some didn't.
And the graphics to use to amplify the fighting are not great.
No.
Scorpion's weird little hand thing that he does in that movie will never be...
Because of the CGI.
It's just not good. It's
Yeah.
just not good.
But like this, the fight scenes were legit, and they
Yeah.
were on point, and they were so good. I do have to admit, I don't necessarily love the end of Liu Kang. Because Liu Kang was great in this movie.
This was a tough one for me. This was one of the reasons it's a B, almost B minus.
Uh-huh.
The third act of that movie really screamed reshoots. And I just, there were just a lot of moments where it felt like you had a room full of people trying to decide how to end this movie and no unified person at the head of it being like, oh, this is how the movie ends.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like this idea of like, oh, well, we have to have Liu Kang be the hero. Well, but we've been spending so much time with Katana, and she's really more the main character of this movie with Johnny Cage, and Johnny Cage is off doing this other thing, so we're going to have Katana be the hero at the end of the movie. And it's like, okay. But, like, this whole thing was set up with Liu Kang.
Yeah.
And, like, canonically, usually he's the guy. So it's fine. I just don't know that... It felt like reshoots. It felt like they had an ending, and they decided, no, you know what, we're going to change the ending. And Liu Kang just, leaves. He just dips.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh. Okay. I thought he was the guy, though.
And it's like... and we're not, speaking outside of our mouth either, because the earlier scenes with him... I think it's said 3 or 4 times he's the greatest fighter on Earth.
They make it very clear that he is the last great hope of Earthrealm. And not for nothing, that's always the case. Like, in every version of Mortal Kombat I've seen, Liu Kang is kind of soft the main character of the story. Whether it's the 95, whether it's the 97, whether it's... That was one of my issues with the first Mortal Kombat live-action movie, was that Liu Kang was introduced so late into it.
Yeah.
That it was just like, who is the main character of this movie? Is it Sonya? Is it Kano? Is it Cole? Is it Scorpion? Who am I supposed to be following in this? Because Liu Kang would usually take that role, and we didn't meet Liu Kang for the first 40 minutes of that movie.
And especially the first interaction he has with Shao Kahn.
Yeah.
Where he brings up the fire dragons.
Yeah.
And, that was incredible. And I'm like, that's what this should
That's
end.
what I thought this was going to be.
That was such a great scene.
Yeah, and it's like, it's tough because I don't dislike where the movie ended.
Yeah.
I just found it kind of like a weird, divergent turn.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like we were going in one very understandable direction, and then just suddenly it was like, oh no, Liu's gone. He's just gone. He's not going to stay for the rest of this movie. And you're just like, okay. And they have this whole like thing where he says, "Oh, well, Raiden told me I was never going to defeat Shao Kahn, so like this isn't my fight anymore, and I got to go take care of my brother instead." And it's like, okay, I get that. It just felt weird.
Yeah,
it'd be like if Harry Potter just left and is like
said Ron Weasley's going to take care of Voldemort.
Well, it's like, or like Neville's going to show up and like, oh, we've really been following Neville this whole time anyway, so he's going to be the one that does it. It's like, okay, there's satisfaction in that, definitely. But, like, at the same time, you're kind of like, wasn't this the guy?
Yeah.
I thought this was the guy. So, it's weird. There were elements of this movie that felt a little off. Just, like, in terms of, like, I'm not sure what the final vision for it was, but we got there in the end. So I can't be upset because watching Katana fight is just like her in the video games.
Yeah.
They did a great job.
Did a
Watching all
job.
the characters fight is just like in the video games. They did a great job. The action sequences are excellent. The biggest thing was just like Shao Kahn has his giant hammer, and there were some moments, as somebody who just dislocated an arm, where like Liu Kang gets bashed with the hammer. I'm like, oh dude, you are not standing up.
Yeah.
You're not. I don't care who you are. I don't care what Hope of Earthrealm you are. There's no way you're standing up after you just got hit with that thing. So, but I do like this movie. I just found some of it challenging.
I feel like the zombies or like the rebirth in this movie.
Yeah.
I wasn't really like catching on to that.
Yeah,
like,
the
necromancer was bringing.
Yeah, what did Katana call it?
Voldemort.
Yeah,
reference.
the Voldemort Pennywise.
Oh yeah.
Calling him Pennywise. That was good.
It's like in the last movie, I truly believe that it was like Cole being the main character, and like.
Yeah.
Well, see, here's the thing,
like,
and we need to bring this up. There are a lot of Mortal Kombat fans that didn't like the first movie because it didn't have anything, didn't have the combat fighting, or didn't have the tournament, and then 2, Cole was a created character. So what do they do in this one? They have the tournament, and Cole gets.
I felt bad for the guy who plays Cole. He didn't deserve that.
No, he doesn't deserve to get his head just demolished and just pushed. And then Jack says, "Oh, where's Cole?" It's the last he's ever
come back. Oh no! And it's like that's it. Nobody talks about Cole. Like they have this big moment. The moment he brings up his wife and daughter, it's like, "Oh, bye, Cole. Well, you're never going to see them again. You yourself are like, I might never see them again." That sealed your fate. Saying that thing right there.
That's the same as like, I retire in a week. Okay, you're dead.
Yeah, the moment when he's fighting Shao Kahn, he's like, "This is for all the blah, blah, blah." I'm like, you are dead, man.
Yeah.
Every word you say, you are digging your grave that much deeper. Like, you are so dead meat. And it's just, I don't know. I felt bad for the actor, honestly.
I do too. It's kind of the same as like the Jar Jar actor.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not his fault.
No.
That it ended up the way it is. And like, once again, I love the first Mortal Kombat movie. And I'm okay with Cole.
I like Cole as a concept character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think that the real problem is, and we talked a little bit about this with the Resident Evil trailer, I think the real problem is that there is a need in a fandom to get the core concepts right. Mm-hmm. And if you skip over core concepts for easy, quick solutions, like saying, instead of deciding, okay, Sonya Blade is going to be the main character of this movie. It's like, okay, well, we don't want to do that. We want to invent an entirely new character for people who don't know anything about Mortal Kombat, so we're going to invent Cole, and then we're going to spend 20 minutes learning who Cole is, and then Cole's going to be introduced to all these concepts throughout the movie, and we're finally going to get to the point where we start meeting characters we know deep into the film. And I just feel like audiences who were interested in this movie, A, didn't need an audience surrogate, and B, you're alienating the hardcore fans by doing that, because in their mind they're like, I don't know this guy. I don't care about this guy. Why would I care about this guy? You would do better to have the daughter of Johnny Cage and Sonya Blade be the main character. And there's like, oh, there was a Mortal Kombat back in the late 90s, and Johnny Cage fought in that one when he was Van Damme, and like it just felt like, again, it just didn't feel like a cohesive idea. It felt like someone coming in and being like, I can fix it. And it's like, you don't need to fix it. You just need to walk the path.
See, I think the one problem that they ran into with the first movie, unlike the Resident Evil, which we talked about, is in concept, they nailed it with the 95 movie.
Yeah.
Because it had everything. It had the characters, it had the tournament, it had everything you needed. It had Liu Kang being
It had Christopher Lambert with white hair.
Oh, he's awesome. Right Alpha Highlander, which is just great.
Playing an Asian man.
Oh, he's so good.
It's good.
And it, had the Temple of Light, had all the stuff
Yeah.
you needed in a Mortal Kombat movie. So with the redo, they're like, well, we got to make it gritty. We're going to make it R-rated. And I think they, once again, I think they made a great movie. I think they missed the Mortal Kombat concept of it.
Yeah.
But then this one, they nailed the tournament concept of it. And they actually got that right, where you're like, okay.
So the first movie, I would like to say, was kind of like, someone was like, alright, let's take the characters from Mortal Kombat and try to, like, make it like so we put them in a fantasy story. And so, like, and it's more, like, magic-based. And it's like, but this new movie was like, alright, now we actually get to Mortal Kombat because all these characters, like, know, like, stuff.
Yeah. So the first one was like a setup for this movie.
Yeah. And, what's kind of funny is, like, I loved it when, like, Johnny Cage first realized that he might die, and he's like, nah, I'm dipping.
That's it, I'm out.
And then he's like, and then he's at the bar, and then he starts glowing blue, and then he, like, flashes, and then he appears someone, he's like, oh crap, it's real.
Yeah. This isn't up to me.
And that's what I love, is Johnny Cage never actually volunteered.
No.
Yeah.
He just got dragged into it. He actually said no and walked away and never had that, like, guilty conscience, like, I should go back. He's like, no, I'm just going to get drunk.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he's there, and he's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, the call to adventure denied, and then Sonya Blade's like, the gods don't care if you deny the call to adventure.
Like, that I thought was, I love that idea.
I also thought that this was the best version of character is devolved to the point where they have to do the con circuit. That's a storyline that we see a lot. I think that this was a better version of that, where it's just he's just sitting in a con, nobody's coming to his booth, and then he packs up all of his stuff and he sees Raiden and he's like, oh, cosplayer. Whatever. I thought that actually really worked.
I love that he said Big Trouble Little
Yeah,
China as the cosplay, which was great.
I thought that was great.
Yeah. And I agree with you. And what I think I heard you laughing too. They did such a great job making like a 90s trailer.
Yeah.
For that. What was the name of the movie? It
was Uncaged Fury.
Uncaged Fury, yeah. That was so incredible. It looked like a movie that you would see in the 80s.
just love that they dusted off the New Line logo.
Yes!
For it. It's like,
the old New Line logo.
All
right. It was so great.
It's good. I like this. This is funny.
Yeah, no,
and
it was...
You have the obligatory putties in the background.
Yep.
Who are waiting to fight but not doing anything. And you're... Like, again, it was a really clever way to set up not just the character but the expectations within the movie.
Yes.
Because there aren't multiple people fighting. It's always one-on-one. And so thus you don't have to worry about putties. You just have people either cheering or just there's nobody there or whatever. It's just literally one-on-one. I did find that I did wish that there were more audiences for some of the fights. I felt like it in a lot of the Mortal Kombat stuff I've seen, it feels like, and not always, obviously not always, but it feels like there are some scenes that are made stronger, we'll say, by having an audience of, chuds in favor of Shao Kahn or what have you. So it's just like, I didn't mind it because, again, it does emulate that idea of like a fighting game where you just have two people that just show up at a location. That place where the dungeon where Cole dies, like that's in every fighting game.
Yeah.
That's in Soul Calibur, it's in Mortal Kombat, it's in Street Fighter, it's in Tekken, it's in every fighting game. And I thought that was great.
I also recognize that dungeon from when Mortal Kombat had that Fortnite collab. That was one of the mini POIs that they made.
That's right.
It was like in the basement of some place, and there was scorpions that had a chance to spawn there, and you fought him.
Nice. Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's right. I remember that now. I do have to give a massive shout out. The character design of Baraka.
Yes.
Was so on point and incredible.
I like the Baraka children.
Oh, they were amazing. They were so creepy.
The moment Johnny Cage walks into a hut and looks at ugh.
But man, he looks so amazing.
Yeah.
And it was I couldn't tell where, and this is, I guess, a good thing. I couldn't tell where the practical effects ended and the digital effects started.
Yeah.
Because you could tell there was both.
There was definitely both.
But I couldn't tell which was which.
Yeah.
And they were so, like, that fight scene, it was great with him and
well
Johnny
done.
Cage. It was really, and it was funny, and it was really good action.
I was about to say, they never crossed that line, right? There were a few lines that I was worried about, like, how many people make Barack Obama jokes in the time that character's been out, like it's everywhere. So but none of that here. They didn't do any of that. There wasn't any moment where Johnny Cage was like, oh, Barack Obama. And I love the con that he pulls. I thought that was really fun.
It's quite weird how in the fight scene with that chief of the Brocken clan, and he's like, I want to kill you, and then he's very mad at Johnny, and then all of a sudden, he's like, ha 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 ha, what an awesome fight.
Yeah,
now I want to praise you, and you're the chief of our clan.
Well, a lot of those types of, at least in pop culture and movies and in fantasy, clans like Baraka's clan respect fighters. And the fact that Johnny Cage put up such a fight against the strongest fighter in their village, he gained respect by doing that.
In a weird way, it's a Picard moment. It's the same reason that the Klingons like Picard.
Yes.
He knows the rules. Yep. He plays by the rules. And he wins.
Yep.
And so you gotta give it to him. In the same way I gotta give it to Tom Brady. You gotta give it to Johnny Cage. Dude went through 3 houses and stood up and then did 9
that
backflips.
scene when he gets knocked out of the one house and falls through the roof of the other, I was dying.
Yeah.
Thought that was the funniest. And Bracken just runs between the walls.
I feel like that Lord of the Rings joke was so perfectly timed because they were on a bridge suspended over lava.
Yes.
And I'm like, why don't you just throw the amulet
I had
in
that
the
thought
lava?
too.
I thought he was going to.
Yeah.
And especially with the Lord of the Rings joke, where it's like, one ring to rule them all. You have to throw it in a volcano.
I agree with you. It does make sense, though, that was his introduction of his power set.
Yeah.
Was to destroy the amulet.
True.
Because that's how Johnny Cage's powers came out, is when he had to focus on destroying it. I agree. I had the same thought you had.
The thing is, he uses powers once.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that was
happens.
it.
That happens in
like,
these Mortal Kombat movies.
When am I going to get powers?
But
he
if you
uses
remember,
his powers once.
If you remember the last one, it took some fights and everything for everyone to get, except for Kano. He's the only one that got it right away.
Yeah, he got it right away.
Everyone else, it took some time to get it. So it was kind of him going through the stages to get to it. And I'll be honest, I'm kind of glad he didn't have them because it lent more to his, not only his character growth, but the humor.
Yeah.
Where he's like, dude, I'm just an actor.
Well,
I
and
don't have any powers.
That's like, you should both watch the Johnny Cage animated movie if you haven't seen it, and the Mortal Kombat animated movie, because it follows a very similar track of Johnny Cage doesn't believe in any of this nonsense, doesn't have powers, is just a guy, and then gets his powers at the end when it's the most dramatic, important moment where he absolutely has to have them. And until then, he even fights Baraka in that. It's a very similar movie.
Oh, so good. It's so good.
Kind of weird how Sub-Zero, or Shadow Zero, because it's not really
I
Sub-Zero.
think Shadow Zero is a better name for him.
How does he survive his counterpart, who defeated him in the last movie, plus 2 other people, blasting him with, like, magical powers that are extremely powerful?
Yeah.
Well,
how does it...
Because they were technically in hell. They were in, like, the dead.
True.
So it's as if, like, Greek mythology, they're in Hades, lair. They're down in the underworld.
True.
That's pretty much the realm they were at.
And I think that there's also the amulet itself was kind of shielding him in a lot of ways.
Yes.
True.
And so it finally is, when it breaks, that's when the power goes through and wipes him out. And so, I like Shadow Zero. I think Shadow Zero is a better name.
That was a good name, buddy.
That's a better name.
So it was as much dumb fun as I was looking to get.
I will say this. For my issues with some of the plotting in the movie and some of the choices, I found Jade's character very hard to follow in terms of her rationale for what she does.
Yeah, I was confused when she broke the head of her staff.
That part really, I didn't know what was going on with
what
that.
side she was on.
Yeah, because she's talking to Shang Tsung and they come up with this plan where he's going to go kill fucking
Raiden,
sorry. And
he heard enough in the movie, he's fine.
And then she breaks her staff, which was alluded to when Jax is fighting her.
Yes.
And then she's on the side of the good guys. And I'm just like, wait, how did that happen? Didn't you just come up with this plan to... Was it to overthrow Shao Kahn? Was that the plan? Was to overthrow Shao Kahn by killing Raiden, and then you were going to destroy the amulet? I didn't understand that.
Like, I was confused by that too, because Shang Tsung said, we can't let the amulet get destroyed because Shao Kahn would lose his power. Yeah. And it's like, well, isn't that what you want?
Isn't that... But that whole scene was so confusing to me. I did not understand the kind of process or rationale for some of the decisions being made in that moment. It just didn't... It made sense when Kano is like, I don't want the world to burn. Here, it was just like, so... She is switching sides and she wants Shao Kahn to fall, but she's not going to go help Kitana. Instead, she's going to go do this other thing, which ends up being what she needs to do anyway. But it just felt disjointed to me. It just didn't make a ton of sense why she did what she did. Yeah. And then at the end, she's a good guy, and you're just like, I don't know that this was earned. I think you did one good, halfway decent thing. I don't know.
In these movies, I'm pretty sure Kano and Jade are kind of like Loki in the Marvel movies, because one time they're evil, one time they're good, and then they're evil again, and then they're good.
Yeah, they're very self-satisfying. They only fight for what brings them joy.
Yeah.
Well, Jade's character,
she was so
fiercely It was kind of a throwaway character.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird. You got a brief glimpse at her backstory where she, it's said that she was pulled from a fighting pit.
Yeah.
And she was given this chance. It was very much, like when I was looking at her and Kitana, it was like watching Gamora and Nebula. Because it's like, this isn't your father.
Yeah.
And you're both trying to please him, but then you want him dead, and then one doesn't, but then she does. And it's like, it was too much comparison. Jade I could have done without.
It just felt disjointed. It just didn't... If you had just spent a little bit more time or explored it a different way or just justified her changing her mind. There were moments there where you could have those interactions when Kitana walks by.
Yeah.
You can have that moment of Jade being like, oh, nuts, I really screwed up. I gotta fix this. I don't know. I just didn't feel like they necessarily always got there.
I think they were trying to make Jade too much like the I can't think the name of them, the protectors in Wakanda. They
are I'm so close, but I can't get it. I can't get my fingers on it.
But like they had her, she looked the part. She had the bald head. She had the staff. It seemed like they were and then at the end she's sitting next to Kitana on like the protector throne as the second in command. And it was like, okay, are you one of the, like, are you they trying to make you into this type?
Dora Milaje.
The Dora Milaje. Are they trying to make you the Dora Milaje? Because you were pretty much the Dora Milaje in this
movie.
very
similar. It was like if instead of you had an entire group of the Dora Milaje, it's just Okoye. It'd be like if it was Okoye and Shuri and no one else. And it's just like Okoye wanting Shuri to do certain things and then disagreeing about how everything goes around. I don't know. I thought it was... The problem is I didn't dislike Jade as a character. I just felt that she didn't necessarily serve an effective role within the story.
Yeah.
And I think that character can be used really well. But here, I just didn't understand her motivations for anything she did.
Yeah. Like that whole ending scene with her in the Netherworld, I was like...
And it wasn't even like she was afraid of Shao Kahn. Like,
no.
There'd be one thing if she's afraid of Shao Kahn and she doesn't want to disobey him, and so she's serving him out of fear. It's another thing if she truly believes that Shao Kahn is the best way forward and that this is what we need to do.
Yeah.
It's another if she feels like Shao Kahn is an inevitability, so why fight against it? But none of these were the rationale for why she did anything. And so I don't know why she did anything. She wasn't afraid. She didn't feel hopeless. She didn't seem interested in his plan. I genuinely don't know why she's following.
She seems to me like that character in the third one that won't be there or will be there briefly. Like well, like either Cole or Rose in the Star Wars movies.
Yes.
How she's a lot in the second one, not really
Just
in the
written
third one.
out of the third
That's
one.
who I see Jade in this, because it's obvious they're going to make a third one.
Yeah.
Especially, I'm assuming this movie is going to be successful. It looks like it's got great reviews. Well, not by critics, but by
fans.
Fit.
I'd be interested if it was something where Jade was like Sindel, where Sindel had been tortured as a way to get to Katana.
Yeah.
And that's why she served Shao Kahn, is because she's been malignified by this necromancer who keeps bringing her back from the dead as a way to punish Katana.
Yeah.
If Jade was like a friend of Katana's who was her bodyguard and died and then was brought back to kind of torture her as another punishment, and that's why she serves Shao Kahn, is because she's a malignant like all these others, and her will is his will, but also she's there to kind of be a thorn in the side of Katana. Like that, again, that could have been something, but I don't know. We're talking in what ifs.
Did they ever say what happened to Sindel?
She says that she was revived by Shao Kahn multiple times in the fight with Sonya Blade. And then she's left with that cage on her head, and Shao Kahn's like, I'm going to crush her head in front of you.
But then he doesn't.
And
then we
that's
don't
last
hear
see.
anything.
We don't see anything else of her.
That's the part, like, I was like,
yeah.
Don't you think there'd be, like, some...
I thought there was going to be a Mortal Kombat 2, the original Mortal Kombat 2 reference from Sindel, where she does, like, the long pause.
Oh.
You will die. And it's like, God, what is happening?
That thing is terrible. So that was Mortal Kombat 2, folks. We really hope you enjoyed this episode. I know we want to do more of these watch and reviews.
Have you watched the Star Fox?
Oh, the direct. Yes,
Yeah.
Ethan watched it too.
I think we should really quickly.
Okay, so
we
we're going to touch on Star Fox Direct before we.
Since we have Ethan,
Yes,
and this is the most generations we'll ever have.
yes.
I want to know what Ethan thought of the Star Fox Direct.
It looks like a very fun game. It looks realistic, but not too realistic. Mm-hmm. To keep, like, the Nintendo vibes, because Nintendo games are more cartoony.
Yeah.
But this game was animated, so it would be not cartoony, but not realistic.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So, like, a middle of both. So it's
Yeah.
realistic, but not cartoony.
You can see Fox's hair, and he
Yeah.
looks like a fox, but he's not walking around on all fours.
And, like, it looks like a fun game. It looks like a game that people are really going to be speedrunning a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And it also looks like a game that will, like, succeed. It looks kind of like if you took, like, a game that was meant for speedrunning,
Mm-hmm.
and you mixed it with a game that has a lot of, like, cosmic story.
Yeah.
Like, if you combined Super Mario Galaxy in, like, a game that you could speedrun on, and you put it together,
Mm-hmm.
I think this would be that.
Yeah.
Especially the fact that you're able to go back to the levels
Yeah.
and see how fast you can complete the missions in the levels.
Yeah.
Well, this is a remake of the Nintendo 64 version, which was known to be able to be completed in like 2 hours.
Yeah.
But the whole point was to go back and try to beat your times.
Yeah.
And find the tricks.
Well, and that was always, like, because even the original Star Fox, there was, like, it was one of those, like, you pick a path.
Yes.
And then depending on how you play those paths, you'll get to a different point
Yeah.
of the story. I was concerned because the beginning was so Star Wars.
Yes.
It was so Star Wars. But I think that they did find a happy middle ground by the end. I think that this looks really interesting. The fact that it is a rail shooter, but there are dogfights and stuff on land. This was what we were talking about before, was we have to move away from the GameCube Star Fox and back into space. I think that this looks like it's going to do that.
It looks great. I think the big mistake they made was they opened it with the Star Fox scene from Mario Galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
And Fox McCloud looks awesome. And there's 2 animation styles in that cutscene. There's him in the movie with the illumination animation. And then there's the anime version when he's having the flashback.
Yeah.
I think both of those versions, like, I don't dislike how it looks in the game, but I think both of those versions look better.
Yeah.
So to say, well, here's Star Fox in the movie, and then show that, you're like, Oh.
Yeah.
And then also, I was a little kind of bummed that they couldn't find a way to get Glenn Powell to voice him.
I was also kind of surprised by that. There seemed to be this synergy with Star Fox in the Mario movie that, like, I almost assumed, like, not for nothing, it's like 3 days of recording.
Yeah.
And you'll get a ton of money. I don't know why anybody doesn't take up voice acting options.
Exactly.
We found out recently one of the highest earners in Hollywood is Alan Tudyk.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
for all the voice work he does.
Because he just does so much voice work. And so it's just like, I don't understand why you wouldn't have Glenn Powell at the top of this.
Well, and like for Glenn Powell, for him, I would take scale.
Yeah.
And just say, well, if this game is successful, because I can only imagine if this game is successful after the success of Galaxy movie, that there is going to be a Star Fox movie, and that's going to be his
there being a Star
franchise.
Fox movie regardless. Honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I was talking to Kelly about this before we watched the trailer. I would almost anticipate at this point that we get a Star Fox movie possibly before we get a Zelda movie, just because the Netflix Zelda movie is taking forever. And so, like, I would never have pegged it. I would never have anticipated that it would go Mario, Star Fox. When I was a kid, it was always Mario, Zelda, Donkey Kong, Metroid, Star Fox.
Yeah.
Kirby, maybe.
I think a lot of it will depend on if they are making a Star Fox movie, when they started, because I'm fairly certain the Zelda movie is done shooting the principal photography. So that I believe it's supposed to come out maybe holiday of next year. So I don't know if they'll get a Star Fox movie out before that.
No, it's true. Especially an animated one takes like 2 years to
But
do.
Star Fox, like, I've never been a massive Star Fox fan.
Mm-hmm.
I remember playing the original one on the Super Nintendo, and like, oh yeah, it's controls weird and whatnot. Character models aside, the game looks amazing.
The game itself and the gameplay look great.
Look
and
incredible.
the graphics look great.
Yes.
The Direct was very interesting in how it approached everything. I was laughing during a lot of it, and not because they were making jokes, but because there was this earnestness of, like, the game comes with controls. You can go left or right, or do a barrel roll, or shoot lasers, or bombs. It's like, yeah, it breaks and boosts. Yeah, I hope it does.
Yeah.
You can choose multiple levels of difficulty, and depending on the levels of difficulty, the gameplay will be either easier or harder.
That is the definition of difficulty.
Yes!
Yeah.
Why are we going over this with a microscope?
You're right. I can't tell if that was tongue-in-cheek or if that was intentional.
I don't think anyone younger than a 4-year-old is going to be playing this game.
Yeah. No, like, when they were like, you can do barrel rolls and loops, I was like, yeah, you better be able to do barrel rolls and loops. That's like one of the things Star Fox is known for, is barrel rolls and loops.
Well, and the part that I will give them a pass on, because they're getting a lot of criticism from online influencers or whatnot about it being another remake, because the Star Fox 3DS game was a remake of Star Fox 64. Now, mind you, the graphics were nowhere near what they are in this, but it was a remake. And then they're like, oh, well, why are you remaking it again? They forget the original Star Fox 64 was 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Not many kids were, like, not many people know.
And this might be my own personal biases, but I feel like the original Star Fox is way more well-known than Star Fox 64 or any of its other iterations
absolutely.
afterwards. I feel like that's the one that people are like, yeah, Star Fox. The original Star Fox with the blocks and the polygons, Star Fox. You know Star Fox.
The only one I think would be close to that, for the different reason, would be Star Fox Adventures, because it's considered a horrific
The
game.
one where he runs around on the ground.
Yes, so it's infamously bad, but because of that, it's more well-known.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. No,
So, I would say from the trailer, it looks to be like a B+. No, just a B for me.
I would say this looks interesting to me.
It could be more. Well, I'd give it a play.
Yeah.
My thing is that, like, I like dogfighting shooter games.
Yeah.
So if it's a good railgun, and then you can also do dogfighting, I thought the multiplayer looked interesting.
That did look cool.
I love the camera thing, the way that it. I don't know how it does it, but the way that it overlays the Fox face.
Somebody
over.
had made a good point. It's like on iPhones they have
The filters.
The filters on FaceTime.
Yeah.
It's that, but with Star Fox.
Yeah, but it looks great.
Oh, it looks amazing.
And you can use it on non-Star Fox games.
Yep.
So that's cool. I don't know. I think that this could be good, but it depends. Star Fox has never been known for a strong story. And
True.
so it comes down to gameplay. If the gameplay it gets boring or repetitive, or if you have to save Slippy too many times,
Yeah.
or Falco's too much of a dick.
Yeah.
Like, these are all things that have Doom Fox stories before, so
That
I
is
guess
true.
we're going to see.
No, but I am interested.
I'm interested.
What makes me even more hopeful is there was a leak that this game was coming and that Ocarina of Time remake was coming.
I really think it's got to be the way to go.
I think it's going to happen. The
people have
holiday game.
People have been egging them on since GameCube to do this.
Yeah.
Twilight Princess looks the way it did because so many people wanted them to just make Ocarina of Time with better graphics.
Yeah.
At this point, how do you not make an Ocarina of Time that if you fail out halfway through, you can play Majora's Mask?
Yeah.
Like, there's so many cool things you can do now. And we're done with the open world Zelda. If you want that, we got it.
Yeah.
It has to be this next.
It would make sense that the Zelda game is coming because this comes out, the Star Fox scene comes out in a month. It comes out actually the day before my birthday. But that's their big summer game.
Yeah.
No one has any. We know there's going to be a Fire Emblem game coming this year.
Splatoon.
Yeah, no one gives a shit about Splatoon Raiders. But we know there's going to be a big mainline Fire Emblem game. But that's really it for the mainline games. And then there's this rumor about the Zelda game. That would make sense to be their November game, especially. I do have to also give a shout out to Nintendo and give them credit on this. So everyone had been anticipating the price increase on the Switch 2, which it is going to be going up $50. But unlike Sony and Microsoft, which just said, our system's going up $100 and it's happening today. Nintendo says, ours is going up $50. It's happening September 1st. And so they're like, A, that's awesome that you're giving people time. B, I think it's really smart because I bet they're going to blow through a ton of systems. But honestly, $50 isn't the end of the world.
No.
When you're talking about a $500 system, especially a lot of people are believing that the PlayStation 6 is going to be close to $1,000. Same with the new Xbox. So if you're looking at $1,000 one of those systems, and then you're looking at a $500 Switch 2,
that is mobile. That has just as good of graphics to the layman. The other thing is, like, I like that Nintendo isn't. They have the same tariff issues everybody has. They haven't taken the same approach most businesses have.
Yes.
Of, we'll just pass that on to the consumer. They'll pay for the tariffs. And it's like Nintendo is A, suing the U.S. government over tariffs, and B, trying to make sure that there's some kind of mitigation to how much consumers have to pay to cover the cost of these stupid tariffs that aren't working in the first place.
And I gotta say, for all those people who are like, oh, Switch 2 is underpowered, blah, blah, blah. I started Resident Evil Requiem in handheld mode. Holy crap.
It looks pretty powerful.
It runs smooth as silk. The graphics are unbelievable. Everything in handheld mode. So I don't want to hear any of this crap about, oh, the system can't. No, the system can do just fine. And I really think that a lot is going to depend on, because, and I do get, like you said, I give Nintendo credit because the reason why it's going up $50 is because their shareholders are really pushing them to increase the price. I really hope Nintendo sticks to their guns to, like you said, they're not passing it on to the consumer. They are kind of doing it by saying, well, if you want to get amiibos, if you want to get like controllers, like peripherals. That's going to go up a little bit. But even like some of those prices are coming down on the amiibos and whatnot. I really hope they stick to their guns on this because they have made plenty of money.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even imagine the amount of money they made off the Switch timeline. With just Animal Crossing alone and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, those two games alone has made them billions of dollars.
The pandemic made Nintendo all kinds of money.
What's up?
So what I'm thinking is those people who call the Nintendo Switch 2 underpowered aren't really that smart because the Nintendo Switch 2 can run 60 FPS on handheld mode. The PlayStation 5, and for $500 for the Nintendo Switch 2. The PlayStation 5 costs like $600, and if you want to get to handheld, that's an extra like $400, so you're paying $1,000 to play handheld, and the handheld has, like, it has to have a solid connection to the system, but the Nintendo Switch 2 handheld is the system.
Yeah.
So the Nintendo Switch 2 handheld can run 60 FPS, like, indefinitely.
Well, and it's playing native games where you're streaming it on the portal.
Yeah. So you either spend $1,000 to play portable games for the PlayStation 5, or spending $500 to play games on the Nintendo Switch, which you can play most PS5 games on a Nintendo Switch, like Hogwarts Legacy, Mortal Kombat, Minecraft.
Well, that's the thing.
To me, it just works better.
And that's the thing Nintendo has going for them, though, is unlike the other companies, they're actually putting out a lot of first-party games.
Yes.
Which both Xbox and PlayStation have struggled in this generation with putting out a lot of there's only been maybe 5 or 6 really high quality PS5 games.
There's one
in
a year.
Its lifetime.
There's one a year.
Yeah,
he is your son, by the way. That is the point that you make on this show.
I know
very
he is.
regularly.
This is my baby boy.
Just the fact that he starts with, I think those people are dumb.
Yeah,
I think that's you. That's you.
I wonder where he gets that from. I don't know where he gets that from. But yeah, no. So I'm very interested to see what's going to happen with all this.
Yeah.
And I am hopeful Star Fox, because when it was done, I remember looking at Ethan and throwing out a hint saying that would be a great birthday present.
I love that they have gunner mode. I love that their version of Little Brother mode is that you can have a pair of controllers and one person steers and one person shoots. I think that's so smart.
Is awesome.
That's so smart. It would only be better if there was a mechanic within the game of you can pick a second pilot for each ship. That'd be cool.
And that's what I think a lot of the older people, like people our age that are kind of criticizing the game for being a remake or looking, the characters and whatnot, it really isn't being made specifically for us. It's being made for that next generation of Nintendo players who went to the Galaxy movie and said, oh, who's the Star Fox guy? And this is the Star Fox. But it's still, I could see them saying, well, we're going to take the game that you love.
Yeah.
And we're going to make it prettier. We're going to make it run, the first Star Fox game to run 60 frames per second or more. It's going to be the first game that runs great. But it also is, we're really trying to get younger kids to get in on this.
And I think that this net is better than the net Marvel uses.
Yes.
Where Marvel has this carrot stick approach of you will never get the carrot because the carrot isn't real. The cake is a lie, to mix metaphors. I feel like this net comes out and it's not going to get all Star Fox fans. But someone like me, who played Star Fox a lot as an 8-year-old, who struggled with it for a variety of reasons, who's gotten better at video games in the intervening 30 years. When it stopped being a cutscene and started picking up gameplay, I was genuinely impressed at how good it looked.
Oh, it looked amazing.
And it looks great for a rail shooter. It looks great as a dogfighter. There's still tanks. There's secrets. There's all kinds of things. The fact that you can complete a mission or accomplish a mission.
Yes.
I think that's so smart. I think that's so great. So I think that this could be really fun.
Yes, I agree.
And I think that this is a better way of hardcores aren't going to get everything that they want. And younger audiences, yes, this is definitely keyed towards younger audiences who don't know as much. But I think hardcores can still look at this and find familiarity.
I agree.
And the things that they want in that kind of remake.
And I think they just need to get over themselves and be like,
that
listen,
too.
I understand you want a fresh storyline. But if you're really rebooting a series, which is that this is what this is doing, take the best game of the series, make it look and run better. That's your reboot. Next game will be, if this is as successful as I'm hoping it will be, selling 5 to 10 million copies, the next game then will be an original Star Fox adventure. Now that the characters have been reintroduced and it's been proven. Because this is kind of what they were trying to do with Metroid Prime 4, and it didn't work out. Now,
forget that when we talk about Marvel next week, and we talk about them not making it for us. Because we're going to make the exact opposite point next week when we talk about the finale for Daredevil. Of just you took the most successful version of a franchise, and you remade it in a new image, and the old audience is not satisfied, but the new audience is saying, well, we'll take it. So forget that point that Steve just made for when we discussed Daredevil.
I guess I didn't clarify... I did say it wrong. When I said Star Fox isn't made for us, it is made for the fan because it is just a remake of the best game, but it is that introduction side of it that isn't made for us.
No, there is still an element of take your hand and walk you through.
And I don't want to think about Daredevil until next week.
We're going to get to it!
I'm glad you're going to have cameras on. You're going to need them for this.
Oh, boy.
Anyways, folks, that was Nerd Pod Generation, a very special episode 191. Thank you, Ethan, for joining us, my friend. Someday we'll have to have you back
Yeah, we'll
again.
do this again another time when we
Yeah.
have another movie that is appropriate for Ethan to watch.
Maybe Avengers Doomsday.
Maybe Avengers Doomsday.
Maybe another watch and react to that. But anyways, folks, NerdPod Generations, I didn't do our usual beginning.
Call to action.
So nerdpodgen.com. Please go to nerdpodgen.com. There are links there to on the main page to our most recent episode. There's also links to Spotify and Apple Podcasts along with YouTube, where Al has been graciously uploading partial clips and also full episodes of our shows. Also go to NerdPod Generation. You learn a little bit more about us. And then, Al, who else does our artwork and our music?
Our art is by Kortney Howell. Our music is by Brendan Williams and James Connolly. I am Alfred Judson.
And I'm Steve Taylor.
And I'm Ethan Taylor.
Yay, look at that, a full generational table. We just don't have any Gen Zers at this table. No Zoomers right now.
Forget Zoomers.
We'll have to put a Zoomer ad out on the
there we
internet.
go.
Yeah. But in the meantime, friends and enemies, we will be back next week to talk Daredevil.
And happy Mother's Day to all
And
the mothers
happy
out
Mother's
there.
Day to all the mothers
Yes.
out there. The thing that keeps a lot of us going.
Yes, thank you.
Have a good week, friends and enemies.
Yeah! Your first podcast!